Hello, Justin DeHaan here for another segment of Hockey Hardware. Today we have an item from the 1970-71 NHL season, and this silver-plated puck was awarded to Buffalo Sabres star Gilbert Perreault during his rookie season in 1970-71, which you can see is on the puck. It was awarded for his Calder Trophy win, also on the puck, and there's a couple stats on here as well. 38 goals, which was good for 5th in the NHL that season, and 72 points, which led all the rookies. We've got some Tiffany Co markings and some tarnish on the puck, which is to be expected with the age of the puck. Now, Gilbert Perreault played his junior hockey with the Montreal Junior Canadiens in the OHA, and by the time his draft year rolled around, he was pretty much the consensus first overall pick. The only question was, who was going to take him? 1970 marked another year of expansion in the NHL as they would add two more franchises, the Buffalo Sabres and the Vancouver Canucks. One of these teams would get to start with the first overall pick, and the other would have to settle with second. To decide who would get what, the NHL decided to spin a big wheel, and League President Clarence Campbell spun that wheel, and when it settled on a number, he immediately began to congratulate the Vancouver Canucks. That celebration for Vancouver was short-lived, as Sabres GM Punch Imlach said, Mr. Campbell, I think you might want to check that again. And upon further inspection, Clarence Campbell realized the number it had landed on was 11, which was part of the Sabres block of numbers. So the Sabres would get to draft their first ever superstar, and he would wear in the NHL the number 11. Now, there's a common misconception. A lot of people seem to believe that Gilbert Perreault wore 11 because that is the number the wheel landed on. The reality is that Gilbert Perreault was wearing 11 for years prior to his NHL draft and to the wheel. He wore that number with the Montreal Junior Canadiens as well. Now that number hangs in the rafters in Buffalo, and he made an immediate impact with the Sabres. Obviously, he won the Calder, he led the team in scoring in his first year, and he added a goal in the first ever Buffalo Sabres game, although not the first goal. That mark belongs to Jim Watson. He played 17 seasons in the NHL, every single one with the Buffalo Sabres, and although he never won a Stanley Cup, he was part of the 1972 Team Canada Summit Series team, and he ended up leaving Buffalo as their franchise leader in games with 1,191, goals with 512, assists with 814, and points with 1,326. He was considered a superb stick handler. Defensemen like Bobby Orr and Larry Robinson have called him one of, if not the toughest, players to defend during that era. Bobby Orr once said it was like his head and chest were heading in one direction, but his feet and body would take the puck in the other direction. So he was a very tricky player, and the Buffalo Sabres literally had the opportunity to take their first superstar and the guy who was the catalyst of the French Connection line alongside René Robert and Rick Martin, and whose all their numbers are hanging from the rafters in Buffalo. They literally had that opportunity by winning a spin of a wheel, so a little bit of chance, and it led them to perhaps their greatest player in their franchise. Well, that's it for the segment today. We'll be back on Monday with another segment, so please join us then, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.